With our expert on the show right now, Mr. Ashok Chandak, who is the president at IESA, is joining us on the show as we speak. Hi, good morning, Mr. Ashok. Very good.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for your time. First up, on this particular announcement, reciprocal tariffs 26% has been announced for India. Give us your first take on the same. How is the industry expected to perform? And as per you, which are the key industries that could be impacted the most?
Yeah, so this is a significant challenge for India's export, I would call, given that our 18% of the goods export is to United States. And the speed and the scale of this tariff hike could further slow global growth actually, and create some kind of uncertainty in the market across the multiple sectors. Could create pressure on businesses worldwide. While India is a bit better positioned compared to many other economies, as we are having the tariff, which is a bit different than some of the economies actually over here. But still, it could create some kind of impact in a domestic industry. What I would call is basically some of the sectors, particularly I represent semiconductor electronics and several other sectors. So pharma is obviously good news. They were expecting a tariff which is not there, considering the public health topic. Semiconductors is the foundation technologies, and it has also been spared, which is also good news for semiconductor industry. And India's semiconductor manufacturing is going to get ramp up over next few years. So that could help us. On electronics and electricals, though, there is a tariff, which is the reciprocal tariff of India, which will get applied. But I would see that still we could find some positive thing out of this, primarily because we could remain much competitive compared to the other countries. Those are impacted on a higher side, particularly China, Vietnam, Thailand, and as well as the Taiwan. The tariffs are much higher than India. So we could utilize that aspect. Auto components could get impacted. This is one of the booming topic. But again, it is also in the same league as other countries. So what I would say overall, the government, the industry bodies and corporate, we all face a crucial challenge in balancing the business growth and economic development. While every challenge presents an opportunity and the solutions are always within reach. And I would call that as an ISA body, electronics semiconductor particularly, and member community, who are very committed to work closely with Ministry of Electronics ID, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And we have some ideas, some of the strategies which could minimize the risk and position India on ahead of the global competition. But yes, I do agree, it's a global challenge. It's going to create a lot of ripple effects worldwide.
Right.
And particularly what could happen is many countries may get into a mode where they will have to protect their economies and they would start to take
Absolutely.
some measures.
And in fact, Mr.
That creates
Chandak,
uncertainty.
I wanted to come to that point itself. Very good morning to you, Shell, also joining in the conversation. And like you did mention about the fact that semiconductor this time around has been spared if on the tariff, but we can't be complacent enough, right? Given the fact that you wouldn't know what next can we expect. So what are some of the measures that we can actually take proactively in order to make sure that our semiconductor industry, which we are just getting kick-started, especially when you talk about the global arena, what are the steps that the government can take or the industry can take to actually protect itself?
Sure, thank you. Good point. So actually, we have to understand that the semiconductor industry worldwide is a global industry. So any semiconductor chip which gets finally made touches about 8 to 10 different locations and countries actually. So what India could do, considering our very strong and high strength in the design ecosystem, plus we are starting our journey towards the manufacturing now. So we have to create a resilient supply chain. So, semiconductor industry also needs the chemicals and gases and minerals and materials. We need to build up those things in addition to the OSATs, which we are already building up in several projects. So with the semiconductor plan called the SIP, Semicon India Plan 2.0, which is supposed to be announced actually, we are just waiting for that, should help on this multitude of things, provide the necessary benefits so that we ramp up faster on the fabs and the OSATs particularly. What I would see is a situation where we become more interdependent. Obviously we have to talk about the self-reliance, something we need to do on our own. But if there is an interdependency with few countries, including United States, then there is a plan and point for negotiation actually further to mitigate the risk and improvise our business opportunities.
All right, but Mr. Chandak, help us understand that how do you see the global supply chain getting affected with the proposed tariffs? Because yes, for India, the exposure is not that much, the impact is not that much expected to be on the negative side, but it's China that will get impacted. So what could be the implications on the global supply chain?
I think global supply chain, definitely there is an implication. There is going to be a turbulent time. And I would call right now, things are also a bit uncertain because the right balance has to be found by many countries and companies accordingly. Also, we have to note that the out of the worldwide semiconductor market, more than half is controlled by the US headquartered companies. So, there is also high impact for these companies. Those are operating from US, and there is economic impact for the country as well. So I'm sure that they would find some way out. There will be some balancing act which will happen. But in a short term, there is a uncertainty which is what we expect actually over here.
All right, then we leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us in ET Now to talk about the entire industry, the semiconductor industry.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.